Insurance Corporation of Belize, serving Belize for 40 years.
Good afternoon, Belize. It's midday and you're tuned into News at Noon, where we bring you the latest updates from around the country. I'm Paul Lopez, and here's what's making headlines today. Extended unplanned power outage affects Belize City residents. What does the future of energy look like for Belize? Will a driving school for motorcyclists help to decrease road traffic accidents? And a Belizean wins Emmy for morning show production. These stories are coming up in just 1 minute.
When I was a student, ICB was there to protect me, ensuring my education and future. When I got my first car, ICB was there to protect me, providing excellent coverage and peace of mind on the road. When we moved into our first apartment, ICB was there to protect us, securing our belongings and giving us a sense of security. And when we got our first house, ICB was there for us, protecting our home and everything we've worked so hard for.
At every step of your life's journey, ICB is there for you. For more information, call 224-5328 or visit our nearest branch.
Welcome back. Residents in several areas across Belize City woke up to an unplanned power outage that extended well into the morning. And the power outage did not only affect homes and businesses. The Belize City Council announced a temporary delay in its e-ride bus service because of the power outage. So commuters that rely on this service were forced to find alternate means of transportation. As for the cause of the power outage, the Belize Electricity Limited says that just after midnight, a utility pole carrying transmission power lines broke. The affected areas include Belize City up to Mile 1 on the Philip Wilson Highway and Mile 1 on the George Price Highway. By 2:30 a.m., power supply was restored to areas between the Northern Highway. BEL reported that its team was working diligently to replace the broken pole and restore power to remaining affected areas by 9:30 a.m. The estimated restoration time was later pushed back to 12 midday. Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Dr. Leroy Almendares, provided a brief explanation on the power outage.
But of course, if that's transmission line, that's another issue, a broken pole or something like that. That's a whole different issue. But if that was the shortfall at that time, so see what that can happen? It creates stability within the grid. This is discharge, this is dispatch, and that instability is taken care of. And you don't have to worry about whether Mexico has power available at that time, and it should be cheaper.
Belize is stepping up its clean energy ambitions. 2 senior government officials recently returned from a high-level training in Belgium focused on modern energy storage systems. The 5-day program, hosted by the World Bank and its Energy Storage Partnership, brought together global experts to explore battery technologies, grid flexibility, and renewable integration. These are critical steps toward a more resilient and sustainable power sector. Dr. Leroy Almendares, the Chief Executive Officer in the Ministry of Public Utilities, Energy and Logistics, tells us energy storage is crucial to Belize's energy transition strategy.
Since we import so much power from Mexico, there are times around 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. in the morning when the power is, it's much cheaper. If we have this battery energy storage system, and you notice I'm saying it's a whole system, then you can actually buy the cheap power, store it in the batteries, and when it's stored in the batteries, when BL then distributes this power, remember it was low energy or low power at low cost at that time, then when it's consumed or BL dispatches it, because BL dispatches power, then it simply means, remember that's a low cost, so it could take my light bill down at peak times when you distribute that. But of course with solar, like I said, if you don't store it, then it becomes an issue, because it simply means that if it's not stored, whatever was generated and it's just wasted.
Over the weekend, 4 people lost their lives in separate road traffic accidents across the country. On Friday, at least 3 people were hospitalized in a motorcycle collision that claimed the life of 28-year-old Keith Guzman. The volume of fatalities linked to motorcycle accidents has been a major concern for the public, particularly those who frequent Belize's highways. To curb the numbers on motorcycle-related accidents, the Ministry of Transport is planning to launch driving courses aimed at educating youth motorists on how to properly maneuver their motorcycles and adhere to Belize's road safety laws. CEO in the Ministry of Transport, Chester Williams, tells us more.
The practice of just going to the Department of Transport or the municipal bodies to get a driver's license and just get it within a day without any sort of experience in the maneuvering of motorcycles and the laws governing the use of motorcycles must come to an end. I think that is what has us where we are right now. I can say that we took over a broken system, right? And myself and my minister, Dr. Zabane, we're doing our best to fix the broken system that we took over. And we're hoping that with the assistance of the people, we should be able to do so. I must say that we're getting great support from Cabinet in pushing the laws and changes that we want to put in place. But we're looking at driving school, where persons can go and take lessons in the maneuvering of motorcycles and the laws governing the use of motorcycles. And in presenting your application for a motorcycle license, you would have to present with that application a certificate from the institutions that will be providing the training, can be ITVET and any other institution that are so certified, certifying you in the handling of motorcycles and the laws that governs the use of motorcycles.
Belizean Caitlin Haylock is making waves in the U.S. She secured a Chicago Midwest Emmy along with her former morning show team at the WMTV 15 in Madison, Wisconsin. The media house won the Emmy for Best Morning Show and Evening News for their coverage on a devastating school shooting in Madison that occurred on December 16, 2024. Haylock was pursuing her master's degree at the time while gaining invaluable job experience as a morning show producer. She spoke with us about her latest accomplishment.
It was very interesting that day, and it's something that I thought about since we got the award and I was told the award. So I was working the graveyard shift. So I was on their morning show, which is like a 2.5-hour production, and I was working the graveyard shift. So I was clocking in at like 10:45 in the night, working throughout the night until about 7:45, 8 in the morning. And that was kind of the schedule. And so when the shooting happened, I was back home in my apartment and my Teams message was like blowing up on my phone. And I was like, what's going on? So I checked the Teams message. I went online to our website, and that was when they started breaking the news when the shooting happened on the 16th of December last year. And so when I went in at 10:45 and I clocked in with our co-producer, we kind of just looked at each other because we knew what it would mean. And for me, I'd never been through a school shooting before because thankfully in Belize, like that was never something that we had to really prepare for. You know, it was never something where you get active shooter talking, like if somebody comes to the school, how do you barricade that situation? How do you respond to that? And so being the news producer on a very intimate level with that, it was a very emotional weight of like, you know, like you have to kind of compartmentalize what's going on and just focus on what your audience needs.
That's a wrap for the news at noon, but don't worry, there's plenty more coming your way at 6 p.m. We'll dive deeper into these stories and more. In the meantime, visit greaterbelize.com and follow us on Facebook for real-time updates. And don't miss Open Your Eyes tomorrow morning for fresh takes on today's headlines. Thanks for tuning in, Belize. Stay informed, stay inspired, and have a fantastic afternoon.
News 5 at noon was brought to you by Insurance Corporation of Belize, serving Belize for 40 years.
I'm Brittany, one of the newest faces around here. My stories are heartfelt and bring a fresh perspective. On the job, there is no challenge too great. Flooded highways, raging fires, or asking tough questions. My determination and willingness to connect with people help to deliver stories that put you, our viewers, at the forefront of issues. My motto: accurate, timely, and relevant. I am News 5.